Greetings everyone, and welcome to another Timey-Wimey Tuesday Closer Look. Today we continue with our series of Closer Looks, checking out the Steelbook collection of the animated reconstructions of the, well, very many missing episodes of Doctor Who. Today, another one that came out special for the 60th anniversary. We have the Celestial Toymaker. Oh, look at that. That is really nice. Now, this one, fans were a little concerned because it looked like they were going to do the old Web of Fear thing again, going with 3D modeled characters and such instead of just the usual 2D animation. But the general consensus seems to be that, well, for this story in particular, it kind of works. In particular because it allowed them to show the games and the toy room and everything in much grander scale. Kind of the scale that was, I guess, suggested in the original, but they couldn't really do, being on a 60s BBC budget. But with CG, the sky's the limit. You can have it as big as you want. So they were able to give everything a lot more scale and really kind of bring that world to life in ways that we weren't able to see in the 60s. Now, purist fans may be like, but they should have just done a straight-up adaptation. We don't want these reimaginings. And yeah, I get that. I get that. In a lot of ways, I'm a purist too. But, you know, I'm also, speaking of which, I've said before how with these animated reconstructions, I usually watch just the black and white ones. This one, I'm more inclined to watch the color because, well, it's just such a bright, colorful, playful world. And, you know, I feel like it's one of those few stories from the 60s that actually kind of benefits from the color upgrade. So, take your pick. They got both on here. Anyway, let's check out the Celestial Toymaker Steelbook Edition today on a closer look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Okay, so here we have the Celestial Toymaker. Ooh, look at that trippy cover. That is really nice. And on the back, quite a lot of material on this one, which we'll go over in just a moment. But if we slip it out of the J card, you can see all of the artwork in all its glory, and I'm pretty sure this is a wraparound cover because these usually are. And there we go. There's the full artwork of the Steelbook. Very nice. I love the alternate artwork that we get with these, which is why I continue to collect them. Oh look, the booklet. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But first, here's the interior of the Steelbook. And if we pop the discs out, oh, he's a little finicky to get out. Hold on a second here. Just kind of, hold on. You have to almost like bend the case a bit. There we go. I got it. Okay. So here's the full interior artwork. Very cool. You can see all the different ways they kind of expanded on the toy room and everything. It looks just amazing. So yeah, disc 2 here contains the color version and bonus features, and disc 1 contains the black and white version plus the only surviving episode, episode 4. And bonus features as well. And then if we look at the booklet here on the back, and then here, hold on a second, it's got to get in. There we go. Yeah, so you can see how they modeled the characters here. It's definitely an improvement over the Web of Fear, which is kind of done in a similar way, but in this case, I think it works a lot better. Almost feels like a Jerry Anderson type of thing, like kind of almost puppet-like, I guess. But look at that. All kinds of info about the story and the reconstruction. Great stuff. And there are lots of very, very colorful pictures there. As I said before, this is like one that I would make an exception from our usual purism and actually watch the color version, because I feel like it really benefits from that. Oh, it looks like the booklet got a little torn there. That's kind of annoying. I don't like it when that happens. Anyway, so we close that up. What do we got for extras here? Actually, here, let's give you the full view, and I'll just quickly read the back here. So, we've got episodes 1 through 4 animated in black and white and color. We've got the surviving original episode 4 restored. We've got photographic reconstructions of episodes 1, 2, and 3 if you want a more pure experience that kind of gives you some idea what the original episodes were like. Audio commentaries, I believe, on all 4 episodes. Photo gallery, escape room, Team First Doctor. Those are so much fun. It's literally an escape room challenge with actors from the show. And there's some of the season sets actually have some other installments of those as well. It's a fairly new feature. A featurette about making the animation. Sylvester McCoy introduction. I can actually show you exactly where that's from, and I will in just a moment here. And we got an audio-only interview with Carmen Silvera and PDF material. Very cool. So just before we carry on here, let's go through the extras in depth, because they give you a lot more detail in the book than they do on the back of the case. So disc 1, we've got the Celestial Toymaker animated reconstructions in black and white with the following options. You have audio commentary moderated by Toby Haydock. Episode 1, The Celestial Toy Room, has Peter Purvis. Episode 2, Hall of Dolls, has camera operator Dudley Darby. Episode 3, The Dancing Floor, has Peter Purvis, dancer Delia Linden, and makeup assistant Sylvia James. Episode 4, The Final Test, has Peter Purvis and animated series producer and director David Devjak. And then you have production subtitles, on-screen text commentary concerning the making of the original serial and comparing the adventure in its various forms. And then you got the original version of the 4th episode, The Final Test, with the following options. So this is the restored single existing episode that they have. So you have an audio commentary moderated by Toby Haydock and featuring Peter Purvis and Dudley Darby. So that's different from the audio commentary that's on the animated version. And then you have production subtitles for that as well, with on-screen text commentary concerning the making of the original serial and comparing the adventure in its various forms. And you have the Celestial Toymaker photographic reconstruction of the first 3 episodes from off-screen and production images with soundtrack recordings. This has optional narration by Peter Purvis, originally recorded for BBC Worldwide and released in April 2001. Yeah, that's from the audio CD releases of the missing episodes that they did a while back, where they restored all the audio and then had accompanying narration for the bits that weren't quite clear from the sound. So they kind of play out like narrated audio dramas, really. They're quite cool. And then disc 2, you've got the animated reconstructions in color with the same optional audio and text commentary as disc 1. So the only difference is it's the color version. Then you got a photo gallery, images from the BBC photo library and designer John Wood, accompanied by sound effects by Brian Hodgson, legendary BBC Radiophonic Workshop maestro. And then the Doctor Who Collection Escape Room, Team First Doctor. So this is what I was talking about. Emily Cook hosts actors Maureen O'Brien, Peter Purvis, and Lisa Bowerman's experience in a Doctor Who-themed escape room. And that's not an insignificant extra either. It's literally a feature-length thing. I think it's like 90 minutes long. So, yeah, a lot of fun. And that's the first, I believe, of that series of features, and they've got a whole bunch coming out for the Doctor Who Collection Blu-ray sets. Carmen Silvera interview, an audio interview with the actress who appeared in the serial, recorded on the 20th of September 1986 at His Majesty's Theatre Aberdeen by Ewan Morgan and Ian Fraser. Making the animation, a look at the 2024 version featuring animator Jera Vlasto, producer and series production manager Chloe Grech, lead animator Caitlin Cow, compositor Chris Downey, series producer and director David Devjak, director Adam Boyes, art director Anna Sherbin, and producer and researcher Gary Russell. Ah, and I was about to say where that Sylvester McCoy intro comes from. It comes from Doctor Who The Hartnell Years, the VHS videotape. Sylvester McCoy's introduction to the final test, recorded at the BBC Enterprises exhibition store in Acton on the 12th of February 1991. And if you hang on for just a moment, I'll give you a look at that exact VHS tape, because I still have it. And finally, Documents, a full set of camera scripts and Radio Times cuttings for the Celestial Toymaker and a BBC press release in PDF format, accessible via a computer DVD or Blu-ray ROM drive. A Blu-ray ROM. Anyway, quite a robust selection of extras, as always. I love how much they just go all out for these animated reconstructions, not just with the reconstructions, but with all the extra bits. So let's take a look at that VHS tape, shall we? And, well, the extras list kind of gave away the surprise, so here it is, the Hartnell Years from, when was it, 1992, I think? 91, actually, 91. So after the cancellation of the show, this was kind of a side project of John Nathan Turner's, was to put together these compilation tapes that celebrated the different eras of the different Doctors. Now, in particular, it was interesting to see these ones, the Hartnell Years, and they also did a Troughton Years tape, because they contained rare episodes, often from incomplete stories where they didn't have all the episodes, like orphaned episodes and stuff. In addition to that, this was also the first time I ever saw the unaired version of the first episode, An Unearthly Child. It's kind of a hybrid version. It doesn't have all the additional footage from, like, they did a couple of takes on the first pass of the pilot. You can see all of that on the beginning set, the DVD set now. But this is an interesting alternate look at it, which, you know, had never really been seen before. And then, of course, we have the Celestial Toymaker. So he does little intros for each episode and just gives a little blurb. And we haven't really had a full re-release of this, but a lot of his intros, Sylvester McCoy's intros that he did for this, have been piecemealed out across relevant releases. So you can kind of see them in bits and pieces. So anyway, I really liked this series. I had a bunch of them. I still have a couple in my collection that I just hung on to for, you know, sort of history's sake. I've got the Hartnell Years and the Troughton Years, and I have the Cybermen, when they did Cybermen the early years, and all of those had orphaned episodes. And that's really why I kept them, was just because it was the only way to see episodes from those incomplete stories for a very long time. So it was kind of neat to me to be able to at least get a taste of them if we weren't able to see the full stories. But of course now they're fast becoming redundant with the animated reconstructions, because not only do the animated reconstructions contain this presentation material, but also the episodes themselves in beautifully restored form, and then all the missing episodes reconstructed. But yeah, this was a pretty neat series, and some of them have been represented in full. Like, I know that the Tom Baker Years was actually a two-disc or a two-tape set in which Tom looked at clips from his era and kind of reminisced about them and such. And that was actually included in the season 12 set of the Doctor Who collection, the Blu-ray sets. So one hopes that they will release more of these years collections in future sets. And there you go. So I'm sure you'll agree, a pretty snazzy edition of a story that, quite frankly, I think has been long overdue for the reconstruction treatment. And what better time to do it than the 60th anniversary? And of course, we had the return of the Toymaker. Loved that episode, by the way. Neil Patrick Harris just chewing and just devouring the scenery as the Toymaker. So much fun. I really hope they bring him back at some point. And if not, well, that special was a fun one. Anyway, enough about that. We're talking about Classic Who. That's it from me to you for now. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.